Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Ineffable Podcast. I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Maddie.
And today, this week, we're going to be talking about the show. We made it!
Finally!
Thank God!
We've been so bad about resisting mentioning anything. We can't help ourselves.
We've been so bad when it comes to the show. We've been so bad. But here we go anyway. We can spill to our heart's content now about the show.
Deep dive.
Okay, so first of all, let's not ignore the elephant in the room. David Tennant and Michael Sheen are so gay in this show that it wouldn't surprise me if they were secret gay lovers in real life.
That's why I think we talked about, I can't remember if it was just us or on the podcast, it cracks me up how they just, Anna and Georgia are both just like, oh, my husband's boyfriend, or like, this is my wife. They're all just kind of like a little extended family unit at this point.
Oh,
I love that for them.
It's so cute. It's so cute. And you know what?
So go ahead.
Oh, go on. No, you go.
I love the story of like some of their behind the scenes stuff. Like when Michael, I think we mentioned in the past that they, maybe in our first episode, how Michael was initially tapped to be Crowley.
Yeah.
And him and the head, that was what he'd agreed to, that's what he signed up for, but the more he read it, it was like, I don't know that this fits. I feel like Aziraphale is the one. And so I just, and both of them were doing that, like, him and the head were doing the avoidance thing of like, oh, I don't want to say anything to them, but they were both feeling the same thing. And when they finally said it to each other, they're like, oh, thank you. You feel the same way I do. I don't have to upset you by saying something you don't agree with. They were both like, oh, okay, they're both thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it was, and I'm so glad because Michael Sheen as Crowley just doesn't fit to me, and David Tennant as Aziraphale doesn't fit to me at all. I think it has to be.
Which is so interesting because up until then, Michael was known, kind of known more for his like darker type roles, a little more morally gray. He wasn't. I don't know that he'd quite as much played stuff like Aziraphale, and so this was kind of a shift for him.
Yeah, definitely.
But it works.
Well, like, should we go episode by episode, maybe, if we're gonna talk about the show?
Yeah, before I get to episode 1, I think I mentioned last week talking about, have you heard the story of their first table read, right?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
The whole scenario cracks me up just picturing them, how they said they were kind of just like two dogs circling each other, sniffing each other, trying to like feel each other out for maybe the first 45 minutes. And then it just clicked, and it was just lightning in a bottle after that first little like, okay, what are you doing? What's going on? What's your vibe you're giving here? And then after that, it's just like they were the characters.
And now they're besties in real life, which is even better.
Mm-hmm. And they could just snap into that at a moment's notice. I think in season 2, they, like, David had been sick, and so Michael had been filming for a second without him, but as soon as they saw each other in costumes again, it was just like, boom, we're there.
Yeah. I know. It's such great casting. It is such great casting. I don't say this as, like, a religious lover of David Tennant or a lover of Michael Sheen. I genuinely say they couldn't have been better cast. And I said this last week, and I said it the week before, and I'll keep saying it. But yeah, so should we go episode by episode?
Yeah. Episode 1. Just my first thought on episode 1 is if you actually look at it, they pack in a lot of crap into 50 minutes.
I know! It's a lot of crap.
It's like if you think about the whole story of Good Omens as a whole, the entire setup of the Antichrist. The Antichrist is born, or like Armageddon's happening, and then we
The
found
four
out,
horsemen of the
oh, the boy's
apocalypse.
actually missing. That's like all episode 1.
I know. That's like what? Like, because Good Omens as a book doesn't actually have chapters. So that's like what? Like act 1 done in 1 episode? Like, holy hell.
Yeah.
Like,
And yet
wow.
somehow it doesn't feel rushed. It still feels like it's more of when you stop to think about the show as a whole that you're like, oh yeah, they really just like hit that hard, hit the ground running to get us set up for everything.
I know. Like, and like you said, that's just episode 1, and then you get into episode 2, and there's more action, and then episode 3 is kind of like a respite from that action, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, and then you get episode 4, which is more action. Then episode 5 happens, which is more action, and then you get to episode 6 that takes place at the very end, and you're like, oh, what the hell happened here? Because you get flash forward, and then it's like, oh, how did they end up in this situation? And oh my god, like, because here's the thing I'm gonna get to. The ending of the book is very different from the ending to the show. They changed it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I can't wait to talk about that with you, because that was amazing. I can't believe they did that.
For the better.
They changed
Yeah,
the
I
ending.
totally agree.
They changed the ending while managing to remain faithful, which I love.
Mm-hmm. I love in episode 1 how they really do a good job at dropping the breadcrumbs and showing, not telling, or just leaving little hints at Crowley and Zerfeld's history, this relationship, this arrangement, all the things you could call it that they have set up over these millennia. And then as you rewatch the show and you have more context, all of that makes even more sense. They give you that sense of their history without like, and they do a good job setting up more of that later.
Yeah, definitely. And I think as well, like, they deliberately, I think I heard somewhere that Michael Sheen and David Tennant deliberately played them as a couple. You can
Certainly
tell.
Michael did.
You can tell. You can absolutely tell that they did that. Like, that doesn't even need to be said. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, the reason that it became so shippable again when the show came out was that it was so obvious to people.
Mm-hmm.
And it really was. And even as far back,
Yeah,
like, oh yeah, go on.
just all the little things. Like, oh, Crowley just casually comes over to visit all the time, or whenever he can, and they just go. They're regulars at the Ritz, and just all these little things that they've sprinkled in.
And even like their very first interaction in the show is in Eden, right? And the wing under as a shield. It's like,
yeah,
it's so cute. And you can't help but look at that and think, oh my god, they're doing gay. And they are.
We need another wing callback in season 3.
We absolutely do.
Now that we've got it in season 1 and 2.
We absolutely do. I have a feeling we're gonna get one.
We need that. We need 1941. We'll get to 1941.
Oh yeah, we will get to 1941, Maddie. Don't you worry.
But yeah, let's see what else. Episode 1.
I love that it starts with God. Like, God just narrates the whole thing, and I absolutely love that.
Yes, that's such a good use of, like, obviously, if it's a religious thing, yeah, why not? That's literally the definition of the omniscient narrator.
Mm-hmm.
Who better? So it just works.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, all of the cast, just everyone that we meet, they also do a good job at like slowly introducing us. There's so many characters, but they do a good job at gradually giving us the time to meet and get to know everybody, not just in episode one, but in future episodes as well. Everybody that we're going to need to know, they take their time making sure that we understand each of these characters and, you know, we're ready to incorporate them into the bigger story.
Yeah. And do you know what? It doesn't even feel, it should feel overstuffed, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the book, it
Agreed.
makes sure that you don't feel overstuffed because it names all the characters, but in the show, it doesn't even do that. And even then, it doesn't feel overstuffed. You don't feel like you have so many different things going on at once. You don't feel like this is an absolute mess of a season because it's not.
Like we said in episode one of the podcast, we don't even, like, until you actually look at it or think about it, you don't realize how much is going on and how little screen time comparatively to, they're maybe in only, what, half of the show, Crowley and Aziraphale?
Yeah.
But it feels like they're much more into it than they are, even though they're, not quite as much.
I just love.
They definitely bump up their screen time in season 2.
Oh yeah, they definitely make up for that.
Mm-hmm.
I loved Crowley's introduction the best.
Because
driving
down the road in the Bentley with Queen.
Yeah, the Bentley with Queen, right? You've never read the book, right? In this case, we both watched the show first, right? You've never read the book. You're just getting to show. You get an impression of this bitch immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's just that queen, and he'll do what he wants, and he's cool about it. See, he thinks he's cool. He's not actually that cool, and that's the funny part.
And how distinct, like, it just shows the brilliance of his acting about all the specific choices that he's made, especially after watching so much of Crowley. It had been a while since I'd watched David and Doctor Who before going back and before I watched the 60th anniversary specials and got to see him as the Doctor again.
Mm-hmm.
It's so wild to see the differences in his interpretation. Crowley's voice is much more like kind of got a growl to it compared to like the manic craziness of his Doctor. He's got that like rock star tight jeans, snaky slither, hip swaying swagger as he walks. That is a completely different physicality than his Doctor. It's just fascinating.
But there is one thing that like links Doctor Who and this together, and it's actually quite interesting. Mm-hmm. He was apparently told when, do you know in like episode 6 when the Bentley burns and he kisses it goodbye?
Yeah.
He was told to pretend that was the TARDIS.
I've heard that story. That's all I needed to be told. He's like, done, got it.
He's like, got it. I'll be the Doctor.
Locked
it. But like episode Oh yeah, go on.
And it's so different. Aziraphale's introduction versus his. Like, Aziraphale is what more iconic Aziraphale way to introduce him than like he's just in his little sushi place getting his little sushi. He knows the chef. He's like, that says so much about him too.
And to the point where Crowley's like, you know, if the world goes to shit, no more sushi rolls.
Yep. I love that so much.
See, I love that for him. I love that he's like, that's the comparison between him and Crowley in the show. He loves people. He likes being around people, whereas the only being Crowley likes being around is Aziraphale.
Yup.
Like,
that's the only one.
Like, Crowley's like, listen, I hate people. I hate people. I don't hate you, but I hate people, and you're not people, so you don't count.
Mm-hmm.
But it may.
And they both have such like strong differences. Like, I love how they call him like micro expression Sheen. Like, he has all of these, like his face acting like just says so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like David is that way to an extent, but what I love both of them for both of those reasons. The like the detail that they put into their characters, from anything from like their facials to their line deliveries. Some of their line deliveries are just amazing.
I know.
What are some one of my favorites? Now, since we're on episode one, I'll talk about another one when we're in. I think it's episode two. That's one of my other favorite Crowley ones. Is when back to the sushi line when he's like, "No more, no more of your favorite composers, just celestial harmonies." I can't even do it justice.
And you know what? It makes him sound like he's mocking the whole thing, which I think he is. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's why they're husbands, because he's not afraid to mock the things that Aziraphale likes, even though he loves him.
Mm-hmm. Because he knows he can take it.
Yeah, exactly. But then when it's like this, like I can mess with him and I can say things about him, but if anyone else says a bad word about him, you're fucked. Like you're done for.
Yep. Yep.
My favorite thing about episode 1 was how much, looking back on it now, was how much of it was actually centered on Aziraphale and Crowley.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of it was centered on Warlock and then Adam and what have you, but I feel like in the book they're kind of bypassers to the whole thing, whereas in the show they're like part of the center of it.
Mm-hmm. Totally agree. And I think that was for the better, honestly. I think that did and I don't know if they made changes after getting Michael and David or if that's just how they wrote it initially, but whatever the way is, that script coupled with them just
I know, it's so good, and like when you think about like I've recommended the show to people and they're like, I couldn't make it. Sometimes people say to me, I couldn't make it past episode 2. I'm like, so you haven't even seen episode 3 and you can't even make a judgment on whether, like, because I feel like you have to watch episode 3 to make a judgment on whether you like it or not.
that's some of the best scenes in the entire show
Yeah, I
is
know.
in I think most people, if not like the majority of people would say episode 3 is one of their favorites, if not their favorite.
Episode 3 is definitely my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to
So have we
episode 3.
covered episode 1? Is there anything else there before we move on to episode 2?
Okay, so do you have a favorite scene from episode 1?
I think most people would say that the best scene is the probably the getting drunk in the bookshop. That whole
Yes.
interaction, just the pivotal, like that is their relationship. And
That is
so it's
so
just
good.
like that sets it up so well. I will admit, I'm one though on the opposite end of that spectrum. One of the few scenes in the show that makes me cringe is I have serious secondhand embarrassment so bad in certain scenarios when I'm
Okay.
watching people do things, and so like him singing the cringy lullaby to Warlock.
Oh, I know.
Not anything
Deal.
against his singing abilities, but just the context
Oh no,
and the
I couldn't
cringe
do
is
it.
just like, oh my gosh.
I actually couldn't do it. And I'm so glad. You know what? I know this is unfair on David Tennant's part, right? But when David Arnold released the soundtrack, I'm so glad he didn't include the vocals because it was like, oh my god.
I think he sang it okay. It's just the whole concept and the lyrics and
Oh, I
just
hate the
what
lyrics
it
so
was
much.
just like, okay, cringe.
Oh, I know. I hate the lyrics so much.
But like the cliffhanger it ends on too. Like it is so like that's what hooks me on certain shows, like the show Once Upon a Time. That totally the ending of episode 1. I looked at the person who was next to me by how it ended, and it's like, okay, we're immediately watching more. We're already hooked episode 1, and
Yeah.
that was Good Omens when like just the way they set up the ending of the episode is like, okay, no, I have to know more. You've set up so much, now I have to know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then it's interesting that they focus so much on Crowley, and then we immediately spend the first, like, how long of episode 2 not with them? Because we're with Shadow and Newt and Anathema and everybody else, Agnes, Nutter.
Can I just say, and I'm gonna be honest, I did not care for the Agnes Nutter side. Did not care.
I think it's one of those things that, like, isolated, I wouldn't care about it as much, but I allow it because it's like, okay, I can see how I can see how this fits into the bigger picture. I do want to get back to Growing Aziraphale, but I understand that sometimes you just gotta hit plot beats that are getting you to where you need to be, kind of a thing. And that was one of them. And I will say, you might agree with me on this when I say it.
Yeah.
Tell me that that whole scene when they're going to collect her is not like a totally stealing from the duck scene in Monty Python.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh, obviously she's a witch. She turned me into a newt.
Oh my god.
So that's what makes me chuckle. And literally, I've had like a couple of people who've watched it with me who said the same thing. They're like, "Wait, this feels like Monty Python," and I'm like, "Right."
But like,
So that does.
I know, but like a lot. Like I love episode 2 for one scene and one scene only.
I think I know which one you're talking.
Yeah, yeah. Do you really though? Do you really? Can you guess it?
Wall slam.
No. But good
Oh.
guess though. Good guess though. Good guess.
Interesting.
It's the scene where Crowley has a temper tantrum and abuses his plants.
Yeah. Okay. Valid. I don't think I realized that that was in that scene, but yes. Okay, that's a valid choice too.
No, I love that scene so much. I remember once when I was in college, everyone knew that I liked Good Omens. I made it a known fact. And the people around me were like, they saw that one scene and they were like, do the bit. And I would perform that scene for them in class. They were like, do the bit. And I'd be like, okay.
I love that for you.
Thanks. Do you know what? I might do a fandom of it one day. It just
do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
They translated that so well from the book, and David just like that's one of those things that you read on the page, and you're like, "You want me to do what now?" And yet he committed.
Yeah, like, have you ever read the script book? The script book literally says when it comes to this scene, the plants are shaking. No, we don't know how to show this on television either. And it's like,
it's great. I love that so much. But he makes you buy it. It could have been so cringe, but he just makes you buy into it.
And you know what? I'll tell you a story. That was the first ever scene I saw. I saw that about 2 years before I got into the actual show. And I thought, oh, here's David Tennant playing another villain. And I was really annoyed because I thought that Crowley was a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched it and I was like, oh no, he's actually baby. He's like really cute. He's really cute, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, episode 2 doesn't feature a lot of Aziraphale and Crowley, but it features enough to where I'm satisfied. I don't care a lot for the other characters. I really don't. Anything that's not to do, and I know that's, people probably call me a fake fan, whatever. Anything that's not to do with the heaven and hell side of things, I do not care for.
That's valid. You do have to. Yeah, I get that. I can see. I do have to step back a little bit sometimes and be like, okay, I know you want to get back to Growing Aziraphale because they're just so good together, but I do have to remind myself, okay, this, like, there's certain things in season 2 that there's the same thing of like, okay, get back to them, but I can see why in the broader scheme of things. Okay, this is why cinematically or story plot wise, whatever, this works. I mean, I have songs like that in musicals that even in my favorite musicals, some of my their songs and the shows that like, okay, I don't despise like I don't like the song necessarily, but I can see narratively why it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of musicals, we never touched on this. There is a Good Omens musical. There is a Good Omens musical. I never actually watched
clips of it.
Did you have you seen it?
No.
I haven't seen it either, but I want to. Have you seen the clips that have been released though?
I've seen stills of it, but part of me, like,
there's a scene.
I don't know if I would be like, okay, this works, or if I'd be like, oh no, this is so cringe. Because sometimes even as a later person,
I'm gonna give you my honest opinion. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on what I've seen. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's cringe as hell. Okay, but here's the thing: they do. You know what they do that they didn't do in the book, but they've adapted from the show? They do the whole argument scene at the bandstand.
Really?
Yes, and it's so gay because Aziraphale's like, go to hell, and then Crowley's like, Aziraphale, why would you say that? It's so good, but it's the songs are cringe, but I don't know now that, you know, certain things have happened that it's gonna go into full production. I doubt it, to be honest. It was kind of a workshop thing rather than a full production, but whether it does or it doesn't, it was great for what it was, to be honest.
We'll get to the band. Ooh, the bandstand. That's next episode.
So what else? Do we have anything else to say on episode 2?
Episode 2, I mean, I already mentioned it, the wall slam. Need I say more?
We could talk about that. Do you know what? Let's just make this episode about that. like
that was such a different vibe than how it happens in the book. He's just kind of like sexes him and moves on, but no, David was not having any of that.
And it's like I like how Aziraphale doesn't even like object. He just lets it happen. He's like, yeah, I'm used to this. And then Sister Mary comes along like, oh, sorry to break up an intimate moment, gentlemen. And I'm like, dude, she knows. She knows.
I'm cracking up now just as I'm realizing, oh, wait, it's literally her character that calls them out in both season 1 and season 2.
I know. Then she calls them out in season 1, and then in season 2 she's like, Are you two dating? Is that what's going on here?
Exactly.
I love that for her. She's like the original Ineffable husband shipper.
Exactly. And that leads right into one of my other favorite Crowley line deliveries, is his whole, excuse me, Mom, we're just looking for the notorious son of Satan. What if you might help us with our inquiries? Again, I can't even do it justice.
I love the way he pronounces that.
David says that line, the sad,
I love the way he pronounces it. I love the way he pronounces it. He's like, wonder if you might help us with our inquiries. And it's like, dude. He's so good.
I know, who would have ever thought to say it like that, or just to go that hard, but he did.
Oh, he's brilliant. David Tennant is like, he's just brilliant. That's all I'm gonna say. David Tennant is brilliant.
And Aziraphale's little bitchy, like, luck of the devil, and Crowley just looks at him for a second.
Like, bitch what?
I'm just moving on.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in episode 2.
I can't think of anything.
The tickety boo.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, right, that's the thing. Or Crowley's just their entire interaction with each other as they are like, okay, backing up before we get to the hitting anathema with the bite, the whole like place feels loved. Like the whole spooky thing. I never say that. Big spooky fan me. That's just more of their relationship.
And it's just like, do you know
Them
what I
being in
love?
the
Oh yeah, go on.
them being in the car together for the first time. It's one of the few times we see them in the car together. And poor Zerka's little constant heart attack.
I know. And it's just like, I think my favorite part from episode 2, like my favorite part when it comes to Crowley and Aziraphale, is when they're in that coffee shop and they look like they're on a date.
Yes.
And it's just so gay and I love it.
I ever noticed how David, when he's driving in that first scene of them in the car together, he fully takes his hands on the wheel off the wheel and he's like, why not? Why can't I do 90 in London?
Yeah, I know.
Just little details like that. I love it so much.
And I should have mentioned this last week when we were talking about the radio play. But there's actually that's actually different from the show to the radio play. Where in the show he just says, "Oh, why can't I?" And then in the radio play he's like, "Au contraire, Aziraphale, I am proving that it is perfectly possible to drive 90 miles an hour down Oxford Street."
Different vibes, but I love it.
Yeah. So should we move on to the gayest episode of all time?
Yeah, episode 3.
Okay, so episode 3. If you watched episode 3 and you didn't think these two were a couple, you're homophobic. Joking. I love
There's
it.
just no doubt. Like,
no, there's no doubt.
Let's see. We start. Okay. Let's trying to think what the first flashback is.
I think
What's
it's
the
when
first?
I think it's after Aziraphale gets his sword away, and then God is like, what did you do?"
Oh yeah, and then don't they go to the Ark after that?
Yeah, and then Crowley's like, "Oh my God, so how did that work out for you, babe?"
Exactly. Tell me. Give me the tea.
Yeah,
and then they move on.
and then he's just nervously like, "Yeah, she didn't really say anything."
Yeah, he's just like, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
And then we've got when they're in Rome, and he's like, Crowley's just like so extra sassy because clearly he's like in a pissy mood about something.
Yeah.
And then the automatic, immediate mood change as soon as Aziraphale says the words "let me tempt you," and he's like, "Tell me more."
Okay. Okay.
Just the look on his face.
I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna express another opinion that people probably won't want to hear. And I say this as an asexual person. I feel like as much as we call these characters asexual, I feel like they do have sexual tension.
Oh yeah.
I feel like if nothing happens down that route, if you know what I mean, in the finale, I feel like it's gonna be implied. Because there's no way that like they might be asexual automatically, but like they love each other, so maybe not, you know? Anyway,
I'll be very interested to see.
I'm not gonna go any further with that. It's just a theory. And then
I'm very ready to see.
After the Rome one, we have what happens after Rome?
I feel like it's the Knights.
Yes, I think so too.
The first of the arrangement, and then we go to the Globe when we find out the arrangement has actually happened.
Yeah.
And yes, I geek out about the Globe just because it's the Globe.
Yeah. And when they're knights and they have what I consider to be their first fight. And I feel like that's so good for them because I feel like couples who don't have fights aren't real couples. Let's be honest.
Haven't worked or crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Globe. You have a little bit more of the like. Oh yeah, like they established so well that even though he like somehow Crowley wore him down and changed his mind, even though we don't see that, just like the showing don't telling or showing us not telling us type thing.
Yeah.
And so that's fun. Yeah, I want to see these two on a date watching Shakespeare. Not gonna lie. Um, but yeah, that was fun. I will say, love David to death, but Crowley's choice of facial hair and hair more
Oh
often than not.
God, I know. Oh my
I know
God.
people would die for Bill that the Shoeite, but I'm just like, no, dude,
Not only
no,
would
that is
people
not a
die
look,
for Bill Dad the
Crowley.
Shoeite, but there's T-shirts about him and stuff like. I saw them on the Good
So
Omens shop.
bad.
Like,
And that's the same with him in the Globe. I'm just like, dude, that is not, no. That long hair with the bad beard, no.
no, I know. It's not good. It's not like even when that promotional image first came out, people were like, I actually made a diary recording on my diary, and I was like, what are you wearing? What is this? Like, what? Why do you look so bad for a demon who's meant to look so good all the time?
Yeah, probably my favorite looks hair-wise for Crowley are the season one short David hair that he has for the majority.
Mm-hmm.
Um, his half up, half down look, and then his season two look, his general look. I feel like I like it being a little looser because it just feels more natural. It's
Yeah.
gelled within an inch of its life in season two, but yeah. I don't mind it as much. There are some that are just like, no, no. His Globe one is one of them.
Yeah. After the globe, what's next? Is it the one where he wants the holy water?
Yeah, I think it's the holy water fight because we don't get to Edinburgh until season two, and so yeah, it would be the holy water fight,
I love
which I
that
love.
scene.
Like
Yeah.
that is this is a perfect example of when you know they respect the source material and are taking care of it. Because if I remember the book right, it doesn't say how Crowley got the holy water, does it?
I don't think so. I mean, I might have to go back and reread, but I don't think it does.
So the fact that they used that as like added that thread and made that an extra like nuance and source of tension between the two of them story wise is so cool that
Like, I
they
think
took that
someone.
little detail and made it work.
Yeah, like, I think I saw someone from the creative team say that, um, like, they didn't speak after that until the next flashback.
For I believe it, yeah, until 1941, and
Like, to be
we
honest,
don't know of any other time they would have spoken.
like, I don't blame Aziraphale for not wanting to talk to him. I'm honestly on Aziraphale's side. Like, I understand what Crowley needed it for, and I understand it was a misunderstanding, but imagine having your only friend say that to you. You'd only assume the worst, you know what I mean?
It goes back to their number one issue. What did Nina and Maggie call him out on? Communication.
Communication.
He
Yeah.
didn't neither of them were communicating their actual issue with it. Like, Crowley wasn't like, Crowley wasn't explaining himself well or hadn't set it up right or whatever. He didn't go about asking the right way. I don't know how he could have done it better, but like, the setup wasn't great, and then Aziraphale was just jumping to all the wrong conclusions. Well, either one of both. Either he was jumping to the wrong conclusions about like, oh no, Crowley's just saying that that's not actually what he wants it for. He could have more negative reasons for wanting it. It's not actually for self-defense, but he wasn't portraying that well of like either expressing those concerns or I don't know, explaining his real I don't know. They just weren't they weren't hearing each other. They were talking past each other.
Oh, I know. Like, that's, again, like you say, that's their biggest issue, communication. And they better resolve that in the finale. Because if they don't, I'm going to be very upset.
There's one line that I really appreciate and feel validated in the trailer, and we'll have to talk about it when we go where you talk about the hype leading up to the season. But yeah, that is hopefully they'll actually talk and get some things resolved because even the next time they see each other, 1941, let's get on it. 1941.
Oh, I know.
I love it so much.
1941. I don't think I would be the person I am today if it wasn't for that freaking flashback. like, I have made so many podfics about what happened after they went home. And if you've seen them, guys,
I'm
you've seen
aware.
them. Yeah, if you've seen them, you've seen them. It's, oh my god, like, the fact that we're not going to get part 3 devastates me. Because it did occur to me that we're not going to get part 3.
I'm not giving up hope. I'm not.
Maddie, come
because
on. I'm giving up
I don't
hope.
know.
I'm giving
I
up
just
hope.
I feel like they have made such a big deal about a nightingale singing in Berkeley Square, and they haven't. I mean, that's the core of season 2, and
Yeah.
like the romance is the end of season 1. Like how, but we haven't seen. We have not seen the context. We haven't seen how that came to be their thing, and so I don't know, maybe they'll just leave it unsaid and leave that to our imagination and just imply and let us just on our own realize that that's their song. But I don't know. I feel like it's not impossible that we could get a final little bit of that where because I don't know. I just feel like how can you make such a big deal about it and have that be such a devastating thing for Crowley to say to Aziraphale, no nightingales, if
I know.
there wasn't some sort of explanation of why that hit them so hard? I mean, we know because we know the context of the song that's based on, but that's like from our perspective because we heard over the end credits. We don't in universe we haven't seen what the relevance is. So that's my thoughts.
That's true. Do you know what? I never thought of it that way. Never thought of it that way.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like if we get anything from 1941, that's got to be what it is, right? Because that's about when the song came out, and so I feel like if we get a flashback, it's got to be to hit the punchline of how that became their song.
But you know what Michael Sheen said, don't you?
Yes, about
Michael Sheen said
book.
this was the moment that look was the moment that Aziraphale fell in love with Crowley. And I canonize that to hell. I really do.
Okay, I've asked people this and I want your opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see it going within that, it could mean different things. So, number one, it means that he was completely oblivious, like maybe felt something, but that was the moment, like that it hit him like a truck, like, oh, this is what it is. So he had no idea. Number two is yes, he kind of had an idea that there was something, but that was the moment when he actually like put a label to it. Or number three is like that was the moment, whether or not he realized it, that was his realization of Crowley's reciprocating how he felt, whether or not that's also the moment he realized that's how he felt and that there was something reciprocated between them. I don't know. So, what do you think? Did he know ahead of time? Was that the first moment? And did he know ahead of time? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. Yeah. In my opinion, you want my opinion?
Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, when we look back at like the first scene of season 2, we know that he's absolutely smitten. So we know that that's not him developing his feelings. I think that this is him realizing, oh my god, this is what humans talk about when they talk about love.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
my
that was so
opinion.
you're of the opinion it's that this is him putting a label on it and like putting a name to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally buy that.
And then I think it's 1962, I believe, is when they see each
Uh-huh.
other again. And
Mhm.
I think, right, and this is just my opinion, and I've made podfics about this. I think that something happened that night in 1941 because the fact that they didn't speak again for nearly 21 years makes me think
Mhm.
that something awkward happened and they didn't want to talk about it. Because,
Because yeah,
go on.
that's the other reason like we don't get the Nightingale context because it's like yeah, they seemed to have ended in a pretty good place as far as what we see in season 2 and we'll talk about the 941 season 2 later, but yeah, they seemed to end in a pretty decent place to have not spoken again for that many years.
Yeah. Like, it makes me think that maybe something was said, or maybe like something awkward happened, or something like that. Again, I
Mhm.
don't think we're gonna get an answer. I think we're just gonna have to fanfic that up ourselves, which is fine.
Mhm.
But I do believe something happened because when they see each other again in 1962, I believe it is, they're so awkward. And then Aziraphale is like, maybe one day we could go for a picnic. That's gay shit. First of all,
Mhm.
going for a
Mhm.
picnic, that's gay shit. You don't say that unless you're gay, first of all. but
Mhm.
but also, like, there must have been something that happened, cause even Crowley, he's soft as hell in that scene. He's like, "Oh, come on, I'll give you a lift anywhere you want to go."
Mhm.
And then he's like, "You go too fast for me, Crowley." And I fell apart when he said that. I was like, "No, are you kidding
The
me?"
parallels.
I
Someone
know.
online pointed out the parallels between that and the trailer when Aziraphale's finally like, "How fast did you say this thing goes?" It's
Oh,
just
I
like,
know.
I don't know if you meant to do that, but
Oh, if that's a reference, I'm actually gonna die. I didn't even think of that, Maddie. If that's actually a reference to that, I didn't even think
right?
about that. And I still have to do my rewatches of season 1 and 2.
I just watched the first episode last night. I haven't done season episode 2 yet, but yeah, I'm watching 1 and 8 till we get there.
I'm so scared though. But that's not the point. The point is we're talking about season 1 right now.
Yes.
And
So
then
then
then the rest of episode 3 is not really like Aziraphale and Crowley set until the bandstand scene, which we'll finally get to, I think. Should we get to it?
bandstand breakup.
Bandstand breakup. I hated it. I hated every minute of it, Maddie. I just wanted it to end.
How many breakups can one like not couple have?
I know.
Uh,
When it happened, I was like, what do you mean it's over?
yeah,
It's not
like
it's not over. It's not over. It's never over. That's what Crowley should say to Aziraphale, or Aziraphale should say to Crowley. It's not over. It's never over. Oh, that's a podfic
yeah,
idea. That is a podfic idea right there. I'm not trying to
yeah,
plug
yeah.
myself, but that is a podfic idea.
They're so good, and I think that's the other issue. They just was it you who mentioned the well, I can't even remember how it was phrased, but yeah, they just have such different views on this just shows maybe I guess I can mention it even from the trailer. That's why I love the line when Aziraphale says like, "How could we have been happy knowing that we were leaving everybody to who knows what is coming for them?"
Yeah.
So, like, just point that out to all the Aziraphale haters that popped up after he left. Like, no, this is a problem that goes back to season 1. Them having these opposite views and thoughts and how they want to handle things. Crowley is just like, all I need is you, screw everything else. And Aziraphale is like, but really though, could you really live with that knowledge and that in the back of your mind? You say you could, but really?
See, I used to be Team Crowley. I was Team Crowley up until that trailer came out and Aziraphale said that line. Because after he said that line, I was like, wait a minute. He's actually right. Like if they went off together and left all these people to die, that would have weighed on their conscience forever, and Crowley was being selfish about it.
Mm-hmm.
Crowley was being selfish, as he normally is with everyone but Aziraphale.
And I think that's what most of them didn't get is like, oh, it seems out of character for him to leave and do this after all the supposed character growth he had. It's like, no, this is exactly how Aziraphale has always been. Watch season 1. That's why, even though Crowley multiple times is like, come on, let's go, let's leave. Like, no, he's not gonna do that.
And speaking of that, actually, the bandstand scene, there's so many parallels from the bandstand scene to that scene in season 2, which we'll get to at a later date. But, like, it's such a breakup scene. Like, it really, really is. And it breaks my heart.
Oh, yeah. The way Michael says the go off together line, like, yeah, that's all that needs to be said on that.
And the way he's like, don't be ridiculous, but he doesn't mean it. And you can tell he doesn't mean it.
Mm.
Because Crowley's like, come on, I'm confessing my love to you here. Like, go off with me. And then Aziraphale's like, yeah, we can't do that. We have responsibilities here. And he's actually right.
Mm-hmm. Then we get to 5th episode, which kind of when we see everything come together, unless you have anything else from season or from episode 3.
I don't. Do you?
I don't think so. So 4 and 5, I feel like they bring everything together so well with like you see again their fight, like when he's like he comes back like, you know what, whatever I said, I'm sorry.
I didn't mean it.
Yeah, I didn't mean it. Like, that's the other thing about their relationship is like, yeah, they really do need to like. It's very interesting to me that the apology dance isn't like an actual apology. No one ever actually says sorry for anything.
No, I know.
Anytime they fight, they're actually like, I'm sorry that I was wrong. No. It's always just like, you were right, rub it in my face. So like that's not good communication.
Yeah, I know. So bad. They're so bad at communicating.
Then I almost passed over him running into the bookshop into the fiery bookshop trying to find a Aziraphale. Like if that doesn't rip your heart out.
Oh, and you know what? It's worse because he thinks that the last conversation they had was a fight. That makes it so much worse.
I know. It's so sad.
I know. It's like, dude, imagine that. Like, imagine like telling your husband, I'm gonna go off without you. Whatever. I'm never gonna think about you again. And then him supposedly dying.
Exactly. And then the scene in the pub where he shows up and like if that doesn't rip your heart out when David gives his like, I changed my mind. I lost my best friend.
Oh my god.
Like, ow!
It's so bad.
I know. And the way he says his name when he first popped up, it's like,
And he never calls him Aziraphale. He always calls him Angels. When you call him when he calls him Aziraphale, you know that it's important because he usually just refers to him by his nickname.
Mm-hmm. Which I love. And I'll be interested to see. I know people were making a big deal in the trailer about we hear him call him Angel multiple times in the trailer. But I'm like, I'll be very interested to see if that happens pretty soon into them reconnecting, or if it takes a minute.
Yeah.
Because he's salty and upset and hurt. If we get him snarkily calling him Supreme Archangel, I'm
gonna die.
It's gonna hurt.
I'm gonna die if that happens.
Yeah, if he doesn't call him Angel for a while, it's gonna hurt.
Oh, I know. Does a lot happen in episode 5 that we need to discuss?
Episode 5 is mostly when they all get together and have the big fight with the X-Men, which we haven't kind of talked about any of the side characters
No,
much, but
we haven't.
I think Newt and Anathema are kind of adorable together. It's like,
Do you reckon they
I
stay
love
together?
how she like just needs to get out of her head about the whole thing, and he eventually wins her over.
Yeah. But I don't see, this is my opinion on them, right? I don't think they stayed together because I think that was part of, oh, she's gonna meet someone. That was part of like Agatha's prophecies, and her whole point was that she didn't want to follow those prophecies anymore. So I don't think they lasted. I think they at least stayed friends if they stayed in contact at all. That's my personal headcanon.
I want to see. I'll be interested to see if they pop up because I'm like, they have that dynamic of like, he would worship the ground she walks on, and she would just like eat that. Like, yeah, I know, he adores me. It's
Yeah.
fine. So I'd be very interested to see.
It would be.
And the them and Adam and just all of that, how like simple the solution is, and yet it feels significant. It's kind of like I don't know. It's just interesting how simple they boil down their solution to Armageddon is.
I know
It's like a bunch of children stopping the end of the world.
Yeah, it's a bunch of children. It's freaking mad. It's a bunch of children, an angel and a demon, and that's it.
And the fact that it's Benedict Cumberbatch of all people voicing Satan, I'm like, yes, please.
I know. It's such good casting. Everyone was so perfectly cast. Like, especially when you go back and read the book, everyone was so perfectly cast.
Oh yeah. And plus Madame Tracy's little patient heart.
Yeah.
With Shadwell. She was just like, she wore him down and she played the long game like a champ.
I know. It's just, the whole show is just bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get past that, you can see the heart behind it. But I understand people who can't get past that. I understand people who think, oh, this show is like too weird or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then I judge you at the same time because I'm like, you're missing out on one of the most beautiful love stories ever told.
Exactly. And let's see if there's anything else we haven't mentioned. And I did a pretty good job of being pretty terrifying. Several of those scenes.
That's true.
Can I just say how much art like the Tyler dude with the dog drives me nuts though?
Oh yeah, dude.
Oh, and David driving the Bentley through the fire. Like, that's another thing that like it could have been so cringe, but he just gave it 110%. Just sitting in that car, he was just sitting there, was actually moving, but just the fact that he committed to that, like a manic, I'm going for it energy.
I know. I love that scene so much. It's like my second favorite scene, if not my actual favorite scene in the whole show.
You're not gonna burn. Then we get to the final, which when Gabriel and Beelzebub show up,
yeah,
I'll just leave it at saying I can't believe the internet was right.
What do you mean
about that when we talk about season 2.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Oh,
Gabriel and Beelzebub.
Oh yeah, sorry.
See, I can't believe that.
I never shipped it though. I never shipped it. I never shipped it though. Not me personally, anyway.
I don't think I was in the fandom long enough to have had an opinion, but the twist worked, and we'll talk about why and how impressed I was with the twist when we get to season 2. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was interesting how they fed off of that, and then we get to the body switch.
Oh my god, the body switch is the best change they made to the entire show, in my opinion.
You're so right. It was brilliant, and the fact that looking back, you can see the hints that it was happening, but really there wasn't anything obvious, like super obvious unless you were looking at it, until they're sitting on the bench again together.
Yeah, they did such a good job at playing each other's characters while still trying to be their own characters. You kind of had to have that mix between the two, and they did a really good job.
There's very subtle hints, like probably the biggest hint I can think of is A, Crowley saying tickety boo. Like what, you noticed that? And B, the look Aziraphale gives Gabriel after he says shut your stupid mouth and die.
I know, and
Like,
that'll come back
when
to
you
haunt him in
know,
season 2.
yeah, when you know that that's Crowley, that makes so much more sense. That is him having to fight, not to rip out Gabriel's throat for saying that about Aziraphale.
I know, and oh my god, it's so good. That whole sequence is so good.
Mhm.
And my favorite part is Aziraphale in the bathtub, splashing water against the glass and going, I don't suppose that anywhere I can get a rubber duck. And I'm like, dude, that's so good.
You were just eating this up, you
Yeah.
dork.
But see, here's the thing. The thing that doesn't make sense to me is at the end of season 2, like, the Metatron invites Aziraphale back to hell and everything like that. Why would they do that after what happened? That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Huh. Think I think it must have just been because after Armageddon, like I think they must have just known that they were gonna be up to their long game, to heaven and hell's long game. They could see how everything had shaken out, and so I think they just knew that that was the only way they were going to be able to move forward with what they wanted to do.
Oh yeah, totally. That makes sense.
And then we get to the Ritz.
The Ritz and the song, which by the way they left totally
Mm-hmm.
ambiguous, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
They left it totally ambiguous, and they were like, oh, they were like, the creators were asked behind the scenes, are they a couple? Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. It's up to you. And I'm like, fuck that. Fuck that.
It's like it's literally a love song that's
Yeah.
playing as the credits end. And same thing with like the big swell of dramatic like in 1941 when he hands in the books. It's like,
Oh,
come on now.
I know. Like, it's not fair. I know it was 2019 and, LGBTQ representation was still pretty scarce, but my god, it's not a kid's show. You can get away with a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
They were cowards, in my opinion. But also, they did the right thing for Terry Pratchett, because in the first book, it wasn't confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to do the right thing by him, which I can do nothing but respect, because if they didn't, then that would be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the show, season 1 anyway, is the best one, in my opinion.
I definitely get why people have very different views. Some like different, like it's very polar. I feel like some people like both of them equally, but if not, people have a definite favorite. And I think it's because when we talk about season 2, we'll talk about. I think they like just shifted the focus, and it just like I think it was much more character driven, a little less plot driven. I think they were focused on where characters needed to be and the emotional character arcs that needed to happen as opposed to story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you.
Because a lot needed to happen, like in their relationship and around them, to get set up for where we're going for the second coming. So that that's how I feel. And I also, someone that I watched one of their reviews made a point of, it's actually really interesting. I think that they stuck to their guns on the story they wanted to tell. They didn't try to pander to what the audience would have expected, especially I think when it comes to like continuing certain plot threads or continuing with like all the same characters,
Yeah.
because most shows would have thought, oh, we need to bring back as many of our lead characters as we possibly can, just because people will expect to see them. And I've never thought of it until that reviewer said that, but sometimes that's to the detriment of the show, because then they'll just keep people around to say they kept them around and not because they have an actual good reason, like I guess it's sort of a Mary Sue situation or whatever, where they're just there to be there. But they they didn't do that with, like, they kept some of the demons and some of the angels, but everybody else involved in Armageddon is gone. And
Yeah.
so they added a handful of more characters, but they really zeroed in on what made the show special, which was Crowley and Aziraphale. So that that's my little plug for when we talk about season 2.
Yeah, and we have a whole episode dedicated to the impact of Aziraphale and Crowley. So we'll be able to
Mhm.
talk about them and the representation and what it did for media much more when we get to that point, which is about like 4 weeks away. But still,
Mhm.
we'll get to it.
Mhm.
Right,
All
so
right.
it's been
I think
an
that covers
hour and
everything.
yeah, I think it's been an hour and 7 minutes. This is the longest episode we've done so far. It was needed.
Yes, there was. Well, I think we could have guessed that talking about the show was going to be the one that we blathered on the longest.
Yeah. So season 1 is great. That's the moral of the story, children. The finale better have season 1 vibes. If it doesn't, I'll be very disappointed.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm Rebecca,
And I'm Maddie.
and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.